Okay, let's talk a little bit about AWS Academy. So, this is the one I love to use for college courses because it's free, it has access to a lot of stuff, it's long lived. So, AWS Academy Learner Lab specifically. Um, so, let's get into it. By the way, we're going to talk a little bit about it and we're even going to do an exercise. In fact, probably let's create a local language, large language model, or let's instantiate one so that we can play with it. So if you see, this is Canvas, kind of like AWS Educate was. Canvas is, I think, the most popular learning management system right now, so it kind of makes sense. It has some pre-course information. The main thing you want to get to is Learner Lab. Now, there are some demos. These are going to be videos of them doing different things and a code whisper activity. So this is AI writing your code for you. Kind of cool. So we're going to do just this normal one. I've already started the lab, so I wouldn't have to wait. So usually just click Start Lab. By the way, if you click it again, this will go up. You can see that as of the time of recording this video, it gives a free $100 to use, and I've only used 1.3, and I'm mostly done with the semester. Okay, so I'm going to click on AWS and get into it. And we can do a lot of things. You can see this class I've only really done EC2 and S3. This is the Learner Lab I have for a hacking class. So if I go to EC2, in fact, the reason I got in here is I terminated a bunch of instances. So I have none that are running. If I come to the running instances, you're going to see that there's none. But if I close this, you'll see I terminated a bunch. So I terminated my hacking server, the one that's a command and control server for taking things over. We start that in the class I'm teaching this semester. We finish it next semester, but we'll create a new one. It's not a big deal because we're going to use a different Learner Lab. Ubuntu and my local some things I've been playing with. So I've killed those, but I do want to show you in key pairs. So they always create this Voc key form because Volcrum is the middle organization for AWS Academy, just like they are for AWS Educate. So they put their key in there, and this is supposed to make it easier for you, but I don't trust them with my private key. And if they give me the public private key, they've had it. So I create my own in class. So that's the one I'm going to use, IT381. So if I come up here and I go to instances, launch instance, I'm going to use Ubuntu LLM. We're gonna grab Ubuntu. We want bigger than T2 micro. So that's not 1 gig is not going to work well with a large language model. In fact, I would prefer to have 16 or 32. But I don't know if they let us go that big. So we're going to do 8 gig. It should be able to run on 8 gig. Key pair 381. By the way, this is just 2 CPUs in 8 gig. No graphics card. So it's not going to perform well, but it should work. We want 80. I really don't like creating a new security group, but I don't want to go over that in this video. So we'll just let it create one. Launch instance. So, and these are pretty quick at launching. Granted, it has most of the metadata at this point in time, but it's still booting. So I'm going to click on this instance ID. If I grab this public IPv4, I should be able to come here. I already have my string, so I'm SSH-I. I'm telling it the identity file. I need to grab my private key I created specifically for this class that I have the Learner Lab for. Ubuntu at, and I just put that right there. So SSH, the identity file, this is the private key. The user I'm logging in as, Ubuntu, since it's an Ubuntu instance. You're going to have to look up defaults if you don't know, and at that. So, and yes. Okay, so we're in. Now, let's go ahead and run a local AI. This is really easy. It shouldn't take long. Just gonna copy, paste that in here. While it's downloading, it take like less than a minute. Just gonna say you can run any of the library options. I like Llama 3.2. I was looking for smaller ones. I'm pretty sure it's gonna run. It is a small one. It's not Llama 3.1 that's huge. So this one should run. So if we come here, it's almost done. It's trying. So we're gonna, now that it's installed, we just do O Llama run Llama 3.2. Just make sure Llama 3.2. Okay, and we hit enter. And this is now going to have to go and download Llama 3.2. So it's going to take just a little bit to download. But then it should give us a prompt, a large language model prompt where we can ask it anything and it'll respond. So there are different ones that you can do with PDFs or images, or I'm pretty sure this one's just text. Yeah, we'll just ask it a question like, why would I run an LM locally? Okay. We'll see how fast it is. Only 8 gigs is not a lot, but I've ran this on a 4 gig Pi, so it should work on it. It should work on it. Moment of truth right there. Why would someone run a LLM locally? So while this is typing out, let me just chat a little bit, because, well, it's started already, so that's faster than I expected. If you notice, we're able to spin up decent sized systems in the Learner Lab. There's a lot of things I've been able to accomplish. The main issue with the AWS Learner Lab is it doesn't let you do IAM, but I think that kind of mimics the corporate environment. I have thought about asking them to make it so that we could do some things that they don't allow, but I haven't really pushed that much yet. And I think what they've done is they've created courses specifically to do that. So, for example, I would love my students. You know what? Let me just pull it up. AWS tutorial serverless renting unicorns. This is something I wanted to take my students through. Game day. Can't find it. Maybe it'll link to it from here. Anyway, nope. So AWS has, it's still going. Holy cow. AWS has a tutorial to get started with serverless. I think is really cool, where you set up a site to rent unicorns and stuff. And they use it a lot for their game days. This is done, by the way. I can't do that in the Learner Lab. There's IAM, there's incognito. No, there's cognito, not inc. There's cognito for managing sign-ons that I can't get to work. So anyway, if you look here, why would someone run it locally? It told us some things. How much of it is true? It looks data privacy is a big one, because if you want to be able to use an LLM to do stuff with your customer data, you don't want that to show up on someone else's because it's trained off of it. Reduce latency, improve performance. You don't have to worry about other people. Cost savings, I don't know. You're paying for the hardware or the usage of it, so I don't know. Offline access, that's one of the reasons I like to play with it. Reducing reliance on cloud services. I don't know about improved collaborations, but hardware requirements. So there's the problem, the maintenance and updates, training management data. Cool. Sweet. So awesome. In this video, we introduced you a little bit to the AWS Learner Lab, the power in the AWS Learner Lab, that there's so many things you can do. And before I finish, I just want to come back to this page about the Learner Lab options. And let's see if I can make this, so I mentioned Cognito. No. I am. So we look at restrictions. A lot of the restrictions are going to be along the I am role. And this, there is, why do I think this is actually what you can use? And then it shows some restrictions. So there's so much you can do. I've used Elastic Block Store. So if you see the maximum volume size, let's look at EC2. EC2. On-demand instances only. So we can't do spot or reserved. You can do Elastic Container Registry. I struggled with this some but there's lots that you can do. Some of the struggle might be because I'm new to some of this too. So I am extremely limited access. So that's, but yeah, I don't see there. Oh, this is a cool one. Recognizing photos. So this is machine learning that can recognize different things in photos or video and stuff. So anyway, there's so much you can do. This is huge. It's a great place for a playground for students to learn and understand. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this, and we'll see you in the next video.